Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Stocks and Jobs, episode 149. This year is almost gone. We're going into August, September, October, November, December. 5 more months left. If you didn't start that list by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. What's going on, Kamai? You got in early tonight, or today, I should say. If you didn't catch us last night, what episode was that? 46 or something like that? 50, what episode was that, D? I don't know what episode it was, but you missed a good one. Foolish Finance Fridays. Always coming to you live on Friday when we have time. I'm gonna add that. 36. When we have time. When we have time, my friend. When we have time. If Lamborghini Mercy come in, I'm gonna go back to my Jamaican accent. Lighters in the air, lighters in the air, bomba clock. Jasmine, what's going on? Cash, what's up? Operation Tech Takeover, how you doing? Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings to you. Happy Saturday. For those that have not been keeping up with all the melee going on around just life in general, from Kamala to uh, the German lady to I think there's another one out now. There's another skit that's out now. Uh, I saw the skit about woman says she was going to work overtime, but husband catches her with another man. I was like, man, these skits, boy. I like it must be something to these skits. I get Country Wayne, but Jesus, won't have nothing else to do. Not a thing. I mean, look, let's see what's in the headline news right now. Let's just look. Let me look. What's the headlines right now? Let's see. Paris Olympics, got it. Presidential candidate, TikTok lawsuit. Um, see, Celine Dion did the open ceremony. I'm just looking. See, to the Netherlands, anti-tourism protests have unfolded in the Netherlands, Greece, and Spain. They're like, we want you to go home. You're not welcome here. Let's see. Why Japanese restaurants say they're charging tourists differently. California, y'all got park fires. I'm just going down what I see is in the top in what we consider top news here. All right, that's one. That was just CNN. What is going on the New York Post? Just for shits and giggles here. Um, who Kamala gonna pick? Of course, the $2 million raised by white women. 164,000 white women on the Zoom call. They broke Zoom. Let me see. New York Post is really kind of tailored towards New York. Um, I don't know if anybody saw this post about the killer whales that sink $128,000 yacht in the Mediterranean. There's been a lot of talk about the orcas lately. Mm, and some controversy about Michael Johnson and Coco Golf. Michael Johnson said he felt disappointed when the tennis phenom Coco Gauff was selected as one of the two flag bearers of the Olympics in Paris on Friday. I don't know why. That's it. That's all I see. That's New York, CNN. Of course, there's always I don't know if y'all watch on Bloomberg. Bloomberg has a special where they run China news, and I catch that. I subscribe to that. Um see, and I'll show it to you. It's a Bloomberg television right here. Yeah. So on Bloomberg television, right, they have right here the China show. And China makes another rate cut. Tech falls as AI frenzy, and they do a show on Bloomberg. But I also get news from it's called E27. Oh, D didn't show my screen. I'll show you that the Bloomberg. Yeah, right. Bloomberg. China makes another rate cut right here. Um, and I keep up with this because I again what's going on with China affects us as well too. If you have not been keeping up with India and China, they don't have enough jobs, so a lot of those students are fleeing, coming to the United States. Just- You can type that both China and India struggle with youth unemployment this year. India expects 13 million young people to enter the job market, while China expects 12 million fresh graduates. This is on May 5th. So what they're doing is they're fleeing and they're coming to the United States. Right. So again, when I tell you you're in an international job market, you're in an international job market. Right. All right. Hold on. And then the one that I keep up with, let's see. So there's one called E27. I've talked about this before. I'll bring this over. So this keeps up with what startups are coming out from M- Malaysia, Thailand, India, and also what new tech startups are coming out. So you keep up with India, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, Japan, and you can keep up with what investors are investing in those locations, and what companies are being created and so forth. And then you can go through and look at there's another sub of this here too. So I keep up with what's going on as far as the startups, what investors are investing in, especially if you're looking at Singapore, right? Um, when you're looking at Singapore. So, what is the news coming out of Singapore? I said I need to do an international show because I have so much stuff about what comes out of Singapore as far as like tech and news and um what does that look like? Like, okay, like here's one right here, right? And what are they doing to solve this, right? So Singapore is running out of time to meet its food supply goals. So they have a food supply uh shortage, and they're looking to cut that. So what new ways are they coming up with to actually get the food supply under control and supply their people, along with uh what Singapore advances in technology, right? Um and if you've been keeping up with Singapore, um let me see. And then advances in technology. I think I may do a special segment. I don't know. For about what's going on with Singapore, because um a lot of things that we talk about here that we're like, oh, that's down the line. They're already doing it, right? They're already doing it. So you can look here, and I don't know if you all are familiar with this. Let me blow this up. The International Trade Administration. The International Trade Administration. So you could go here and find out generally about most of things, but just like an overview. This came out in January, right? But you can look here and say where they rate in the world competitiveness, second for ease of doing business in Asia, the only Southeast Asian nation in the top 10 and 18th globally. Um, also have a global innovation index. Did y'all know there was a global innovation index? Do you know what the countries you're visiting rank on that index? Who do you think is number one? All right, who do you think is number one? So these are the kind of things that you got to go and study and look at, because now we're getting into what does it mean to be competitive across the world. More than 5 in 10 workers in high skilled employment. A digital population larger than the US, the UK, and Canada combined. There are 310 million digital consumers in Southeast Asia in 2020. Growth will accelerate with an additional 30 million digital consumers between 2020 and 2025. Um, Top global submarine cable hub. Remember we talked about the sub the with the global, not, we can even stop there, we could go around the continent of Africa, that big global cable, a big cable that was connecting different regions of Africa and the data centers that were going in. But now when you start talking about the global submarine cable, right, the top global submarine cable with 24 submarine internet cables linking it to a multitude of key locations. So we can go here, we'll grab that, we'll come over here and grab this. And then let's pull this up. The global submarine map, right? You got a cable, you got a map right here. So here's that map, right? Here's that map. But if you ever wonder how everything gets connected, I'm just pointing things out to you. Has anybody ever seen this before? Look how things are connected. And these are color coded. If you notice, they're color coded, right? And then they have a label, they have a listing of the cables. Right, they have a listing of the cables. Look right here, look at Malaysia, look at this connection here. Look at that connection back to China, then out, then over to the United States, right? And then we look over here and we see that connection. And then we got important connections that come off of the off the coast here, right? All right. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more so that you can see the connections here. All right, so look around Africa right here. You don't see much here across in this area, and that may be due to difficulty uh, going going across. But then when you look over here, our connections back over here to China and Russia, and then you look at Australia, around the entire Australia. Um, and then we look again. I'm just going around the world. You can look here at Russia right here, right? So again, the submarine cable map. I'll put this in the chat so you all can look at it. When you're always wondering like why I keep up with what's going on in other areas of the country, I mean of the world and other country, I'm always looking at what's going on, like especially if we zoom in here. Well, I want to zoom out. Let me see something. Can I do that? It won't let me do it, but I don't want to make it that way. I want to decline you. Where is my? Oh, here you go, right here. Okay, let's go on in. All right, so look here. You can look at the cables. All right, here go Cambodia. Here's Thailand. Right now, when you go look at Malaysia down in here, right? You look at Malaysia and look at their connections here. Now we go back over here. We look at Sri Lanka. Like Sri Lanka got like two connections out, right? So then you got to worry about what is there what information is getting ciphered into this area, import exports. Now another map. I don't know if you ever looked up so all right. I'm getting into the weeds of my nerdiness, but um bear with me. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. Is it gonna fill in? No, it didn't fill in. Let me see if I can find another one. All right, I'm gonna find another map. I have one. But here is if you ever wanted to know about trades, exports, imports. This right here gives a list of ports and live maps, right? So there's 17,000 ports. And if you're worrying about where cruise ships and ports of different countries, how to export, import, and so forth, there's an entire map that you can go out and it'll pull up the different ports all across the world where you can see in where ports at. Say you want to get a port for Georgia, or you want to get ports for New York, or you want to get one for Sri Lanka, or you want to get one for Singapore. You can go through and find these ports. Let me show you what I see on my end. Let me go back. We'll go forward, and then let's scroll up here and let's look at images. Right. So you can look here. You got a Rotterdam transport. You got the Global Art GIS Hub. They'll show you here's like container ports or seaports. You could keep going. Like you could break this down even more. Right here. All right, ports critically. I don't want to accept all cookies, but whatever. Ports critically in international trade and global supply chains. If you want to reference what those ports were, you can come in here. I was hoping they had a map, but it looks like I'm gonna have to download something. Let me look. Let me download this PDF. Hopefully, they don't ask me for nothing. Awesome. And you can get let's see full size image here. So you can look and see here what the imports and the exports. Then you can connect this back to share time, maritime. What I mean, there's so much you could do, but I'm getting into the weeds. Right? Which country is responsible for pairing the cables in the middle of the ocean? Again, if you looked at that map, it'll tell you who owns those. Now, here's the bigger question between Meta, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Verizon, um, T-Mobile, how many cables do you think they own in the water, or do they piggyback off somebody? Do they lease some lines from people? Remember, AT&T was big in the United States on leasing lines out to other people, right? So, submarine cable lease lines. All right, so leasing a submarine cable bandwidth. All right, so here, like I said, you have to go through, you probably lease some lines, but look, here's a website right here. Let me blow this up. All right, leasing of submarine cable with BSNL is having spare capacity on BLC Bharat Lanka cable system, right? So who owns that? But you can look up leased. All I did was look up submarine cable lease lines. So then when I go look at that, 9 times out of 10, those people are the ones that own it, right? Those are the ones that own it. Yeah. But you can blow that up and go from that. So who pays for undersea internet cables? Undersea cables are usually owned by a consortium of owners, which is responsible for the costs associated with laying the new undersea cables. And then look, here is the National Bureau of Asian Research, submarine cables, the National Bureau of Asian Research. And then I have their stuff. But again, back to this submarine cable line, across all of them, you can zoom in and see who owns those cables. And 9 times out of 10, those cables get leased. Now, the question is, who, how much does it cost to lay these lines, and who owns these lines, and how did they get into the business of owning these lines? Right? And then how much do they charge for them to lease? And how can I get my own cable line? I want to drop my own cable. How much it's gonna cost me? I want to drop my cable line, and who could I lease my cable line to? Can I get a cable line from Florida to New York to California, where we got direct feed, and then I lease and build me data centers centered around that. Drop them in somewhere in Ocala. Go drop somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like in Lakeland or something like that, where we not prone to hurricanes, where you just sitting in the middle of nowhere, right? So that's what I'm talking about, right? Who owns who thought of who said, you know what, I want to own a submarine cable line. Just saying, I'm just pointing that stuff out, right? Undersea cable challenges, cables and the challenges of protecting those cables, submarine cable networks. A submarine cable network is an integrated system of cables collected providing data transfer from one land based location to another. And then if you go here, you could probably catch videos of them. I watched videos of them laying these cables and what they have to go through to lay these cables. Have y'all seen those pipes for those cables? All right, let me pull that up. All right, just to give you an idea. All right, so submarine cable pipeline installation. Here it go right here. Let me see if I can um blow this up some, but subsea cable and pipeline installation. You can look at that cable right there, right? Um, Sea tools, right? So here's another company, right? They help install the submarine cable lines. So maybe you have a company, and all you do is just do the installation for those cable lines. So who owns those companies? Where are those companies located? How did that person get into uh, doing such work? Those are that's where I would start looking at what are the companies in the United States that may help with that, right? Um right here, underwater communication lines. How do they stand up against hurricanes or just anything that happens underwater? How deep do they go, right? And here's this one right here is Finland and in Estonia, that they're talking about with the cable lines and problems that they have. Damage continues in the region. Just things to think about when you're out there. I got off topic, but I thought it was interesting. These are the rabbit holes that I go down. Um, are there submarine cable lines companies, and what are the benefits of those companies? Where are they located? Are they international? Um, just and you would never know who those companies are, right? You probably never ever heard of these companies, and probably never even thought about them. Then you have to think about, well, do they have pensions? Do they have 401ks? How do they treat their people? How big is the company? Right? What type of work, well, other than just laying those cables, what other work do they do? Right? What other work do they do? Right? So just thoughts. And you can get over here and you can look and see right here, submarine cable. Um, they got different cables. They have um PVC armed cables. Um, and how do they work and transfer? Right. Again, just something that key players in submarine cable industry include. You looked it up. Yep, yep, yep. So then you go look at those companies and where those companies located and what kind of net, like especially for y'all that are network engineers, those that are really like coming through the whole brand of CompTIA with the A plus network engineers, Cisco, maybe you work with something with Palo Alto and Dell. You again, how do we ensure that the cable lines that are installed in healthcare industries, what type of grade do they need in order to run a a hospital? What type of failover systems do those hospitals have? Again, you don't want information leaking out through your cable line, so you'll see shielded cable, but then there's different grades of shielded cable and so forth, right? Yep, sonar engineering with network engineering. Yep. So again, think about what type of on on the on the satellites, right? What type of connection is there? And we can go down this rabbit hole, but when you start talking about satellites, you start talking about digital signals processing and waveforms, and everything we have has a waveform. Your laptop immediate immediates, or is it, yeah, it emits some type of waveform, some type of something. Your body emits that. Your phone, everything emits some type of waveform, right? Um, let me look at images. All right. Right. So you got different waveforms, right? You got a sound, sine, music, vector, transparent, frequency, just speech. We have all kind of different types of waveforms, right? All different types of waveforms. And we do things with those waveforms. We hear things differently with those waveforms, right? So should I do an international show? No. Peter Investor, what's going on? Put a one in the chat if I should do an international show, like a tech stocks and jobs international. We touch on China, we touch on Singapore, what's popping in that area. Like, should we do an international show? I don't think no one talks about the international tech market, and like how the global import export connects. I don't think no one talks about that. I wouldn't mind doing a show like that. It'll challenge me. Nah, I really don't do. Like, I don't talk about what's going on in Singapore. I don't really talk about like what's the market looking like in different parts of Africa. I touch on it, but not like that. Right. Submarine cables will employ environmental and ecological engineers, but not only that, taking it one step further, right? Mm, taking it one step further, right? Let's go quantum computing and submarine cables. All right. So quantum communications demoed across subsea fiber optics. Now, I never mind. I could go on. Peter Investor, thank you for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you. All right. So when I remember a couple of months ago, I told y'all about do Q1. I'm not Q1 about quantum computing and be ready for that after AI. This goes into part of that as well too, right? This goes into part of that and being ready for what that looks like with quantum computing across for one for security, two for the different ways we're going to start to utilize quantum computing. AI is just the beginning. Quantum computing takes it to a whole another level, especially on the cybersecurity side. It's a whole nother level, and there's tons of R&D going into quantum computing over AI. Tons of R&D going in. Tons of R&D. So we're just at the tipping point of what's gonna come down, and I just have a feeling those with degrees in engineering are gonna win, um, more so than what people like to think. Those that are gonna specialize in these things are gonna win more so than one. Yeah. Oh yeah, China has been racing for dominance. It's not just China though, right? It is everything centered around the industries in which they're in, right? Right. China dominated manufacturing because we sent everything overseas and now we're getting it back and we got to pay a cost on it. But so did Mexico too, right? We're like, oh, we're gonna send things down to Mexico, right? But then now we're trying to pull everything back into the United States. Well, the only issue is the cost of living has risen in the United States, so those jobs that they're trying to bring back in manufacturing don't really support the lifestyle of someone. Really, the lifestyle that most people need, like they said, is anywhere from 186,000 to 250,000, right in there to support a family and live in most of these cities, right? Now we take it even one step further. It is now okay. What are we preparing students for? Not just in the schools, but after you get out of school, right? So it's not just the ownership on the actual on the colleges. That's one aspect of it. It's the ownership on the actual companies in which you're going to be employed at. How are they keeping up with what's going on internationally? How does the company keep up with competition, right? So if I'm going to go work at Meta, should I be once I get there, what else do I need to learn? How do I stay abreast? Right? How do you keep up with what's going on? Yeah, a lot of investments going into Mexico. and Africa. China is big in the EV space, neural network, AI, and quantum computing. Yep, yep. Man, I've been playing with it, and man, I thought you were saying, man, I've been playing with, and it's big. Yeah, fast no fluff. I talked about it months ago with AI and quantum computing. I said AI is the new buzz right now, and it's gonna keep you hot right now for the next 5, maybe 10ish years, maybe. But right after that, on the cusp of that is quantum computing. And so that's why that K through 12 program is huge. And it's coming directly out of Washington, right? K through 12 quantum computing, right? And they have a national Q12 partnership right here. K through 12 framework, where you can start teaching kindergartners about the basics of quantum computing and centered around that quantum computing and so forth. Now, we're gonna take a redirect. It's still in line, but it's a little different. Um, Let me pull this one up. Okay, so walk with me with this one. All right, so here we go. Uh, if you look at when we're talking about finances and so forth and so on, right? And we're talking about investing and education and so forth, right? Now, roll with that and say you go and do your thing, you learn the whole AI, whatever the case may be. Now, look here. So I was looking at this $1 million, hypothetical portfolios, how kids from wealthy families and an elite Swiss school learn about money. Okay, so you say Swiss, but why the Swiss? What's going on in Switzerland? All right, Switzerland. What is Switzerland known for? All right, what is Switzerland known for? All right, what is Switzerland known for? All right, so here we go. All right, so check this one. So I want to look this one up. All right, the average gross monthly income in Switzerland is about 7,500. Average for a woman is about 6,900. Average for a man is 7,700. Geneva minimum wage 49.40. Geneva minimum wage, that was gross, and then net is 41, right? The minimum wage in Switzerland is defined by the cantonal level. In 2024, Geneva, the minimum wage was basically the translation of it at 44 to 26 was 49.40 a month, right? It says other cantons have different minimum wages and so forth, right? But then we start breaking all of this down, and we start looking at what actually comes out of Switzerland, what actually they're talking about in Switzerland. And you go back and look at this and you think about everything we just talked about, right? Everybody should know about interest rates, inflation, share investment portfolio. Nobody teaches that, but says Bernhard uh, Godman, president of the elite Swiss boarding school Institute of Auf dem Rosenberg. His students manage a hypothetical $1 million portfolio and present their investment to picks to a mock board. Research shows taking a financial education class in high school pays off. Right. So here's the institute right here. Right. The sticker price to go to this college or institute or boarding school is $160,000 a year. It says it is in St. Gallen, a Gallon, with Switzerland, may be one of the most expensive boarding schools in the world. So it's only fitting that students learn about money. But rather than focusing on basic budgeting and managing credit, finance classes at the elite Swiss institution cover the at the elite Swiss institution cover wealth creation, philanthropy, family businesses, and succession management. Being able to educate the future leaders gives us a privilege to pioneer course concepts, right? Everybody should know about interest rates, inflation, and share investment portfolio. Nobody teaches that, right? So again, adopting this, yes, succession management is the key there. Adopting some of these things here would probably be great at a baseline level. In one of the most popular classes, which covers wealth creation and finance, students manage a $1 million portfolio and present their investments picks to a mock of family offices, private companies that wealthy families establish to handle their investment management. Classroom discussions for students ages 12 through 18 covers various asset classes, risk versus reward, and the power of compounding. Too often, these topics are left out of traditional curriculums because they are considered non-academic. Probably because they don't have nobody to teach them. Let's be real. However, these ideas overlap with the same concepts taught in math and biology, among other subjects. It is truly important to understand the dynamics, the implications, and why it's relevant because it touches every aspect of your daily life. All these things are interconnected, and wealth creation shouldn't be ignored. Not being able to provide students with this information and training is really stealing an opportunity for them for being successful. Yep, take the curriculum, take what you hear here. We're gonna go look at the school. I'm gonna go look at the curriculum. I'm gonna see if it's out there published. Put a one in chat if you want to do that. Let me know. Cause I got let me all right. Put a one in chat if you want me to do that. Cause look at my agenda for today. I got I got a lot of topics, but we can do that. Let me grab I'm missing it. Where it go? I'm on the wrong one. Right here. Yeah. All right. As of 2024, more than half of all states already require or in the process of requiring high school students to take personal finance course before graduating. They already had that in Florida. According to the latest data, the Next Gen Personal Finance, a nonprofit focused on providing financial education to middle and high school students, research showing taking a financial education class in high school does pay off. In fact, there is a lifetime opportunity of roughly $100,000 per student from completing a one semester course in personal finance, according to a report by the Titan Partners and Next Gen. I will go look at the consulting firm Titan Partners in Next Gen. I will go look at them. Much of the financial value comes from learning how to avoid high interest credit card debt and leveraging better credit card scores to secure preferential borrowing rates for key expenses such as insurance, auto loans, home mortgages, according to Tim Ranzetta, co founder and CEO of NextGen and a member of the CNBC Global Financial Well Advisory Board. However, often what students are most interested in is investing. Students are at the edge of their seats when you ask them to about building wealth and becoming a millionaire. Um, this is from Yanli Espinal, NextGen's Director of Educational Outreach. As a result, teachers and schools are starting to prioritize those lessons because they have the highest engagement among students of all of the personal finance topics. Hook them where they are the most interested. Still, when you teach investors, focus on long term, and that's what I try to talk to y'all about long term. You making 200, 300, 400, 500,000 for 10 years straight, living off of half of that, investing the rest. Make sure you're investing into whatever you're comfortable with and you've done your research on. But those things could be real estate. It could be investing into REITs. It could be investing into gold. It could be precious metals. It could be whatever the case may be, but again, do your own research, find out what you're comfortable with, and then make adjustments accordingly. Always keep your emergency fund. You should be building up your emergency fund from not 1 month, but for at least a year to 2 years. I prefer a year. The reason why I prefer years is so that if you do get laid off and it takes you 3 months to look for a job, you're not accepting anything other than moving forward, or at least staying at where you were at, nothing less. The next thing is the reason for that is so you can make a clear and sound decision. And sometimes y'all just need some rest before you go back out there. And it may give you a time to figure out what you want to do. You may not want to go back out there. You may want to make a pivot and go work on your own. So just a just a reason for that. All right. It says budgeting, banking, paying for college, taxes, credit management, and the psychology of money are equally important. Let's not leave financial education to TikTok, she said. We have got to get serious about creating a formal education. Many studies also show there is a strong connection between financial literacy and financial well being. Students who are required to take personal finance courses starting from a young age are more likely to tap lower cost loans and grants. I say this, people not gonna like it when I say this. This is what I think. I think before y'all, uh, let's say you go on a first date. I think your second date it should be a personal finance course. Just go on when you go on your date. Y'all go to a personal finance course. Just sit down, talk about financial health and hygiene. You don't have to share your experience. You just take the course. Just my thoughts. It could be entertaining. Students who are required to take a personal finance course starting at a young age are more likely to tap lower cost loans and grants when it comes to paying for college, and less likely to rely on private loans or high interest credit cards. According to a 2018 report, Christiana Studert and Carly Urban for the National Endowment for Financial Education. Further students will, with a financial literacy course under their belt, have a better average credit scores and lower debt delinquency as young adults, according to 2016 data financial industry. Blah 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 blah. I'm not doing that one. In addition, a study from the Brookings Institute in 2018 found that teenage financial literacy is positively correlated with the asset accumulation and the net worth by the age of 2020, about the age of 25. Among adults, those that are with greater financial literacy find it easier to make ends meet in a typical month, are more likely to make a loan in full or and on time, and less likely to constrained by debt or be considered financially fragile. They are more likely to save and plan for retirement, according to data from the TIAA Institute, based on research. Meanwhile, the trend toward in high school personal finance classes is continuing to gain steam. There are 50 personal finance education bills pending in 20 states. And here's the bill tracker. Here, let's go to check out the bill tracker. All right, so we know in Florida it was passed. The dark blue said the states with bills and then guarantee states. So let me look here. New Hampshire, Ohio, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida. Um, so if you're in Alaska, Washington State, Illinois, you guys have states with bills this year. And let me look. Yeah, this is of 2024. So, but if you're in Nevada, Idaho, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, no go. Arkansas, no go. Texas, no go. Kentucky, no go. Vermont, no go. So, but Maryland, DC, Virginia, yes. West Virginia, yes. Delaware, yes. You got bills on the plate there, and it looks like Mississippi has another one as well too. All right, so let's go back to this school. We got some ones in the chat on that. Let's scroll up. Let's see if we can find the school. $160,000 a year. Oh, let me go back to academics. Oh, don't do that. See, high school. All right, let me blow this up some. Core curriculum 9 through 10, 11 through 12. They have an individual development plan. Let me see. Let's go back here and do this. We design challenging international curriculum that offers unmatched depth and prepares students for a wide range of external examinations. I don't want to know co-curricular. See, creative intelligence and informatics, culinary lab, contemporary learning, enabling exceptional academic results and personal development. Looking to see. Let me look up this way. Uh, see if it'll stand out. Mm, 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 mm. It's a private family run international boarding school. But I don't. Let me look into co-curricular. All right, so here you go. From 6 to 12, product design, cinematography, biotechnology, Eureka's Senior Tinker Lab, advanced coding master classes, senior applied robotics, charity volunteering, and philanthropy. That's probably one of them. Diplomacy and leadership, model UN, model United Nations, gourmet fusion cooking masterclass, wealth creation and investment. That's it right there. This is from 6th to 12th grade. Wealth creation and investment, management of a family office, business entrepreneurship, and then preschool from preschool to grade 5 they learn about a makerspace, art, survival environment orientation, digital storytelling, a chemistry lab, robotics, world music and dance, physics, mechanics, and engineering. And then they have a set of partners that they collab with too. Let me look at the partners. So here are their partners that they collab with: Boston Dynamics, UBS, the Chedi Chedi, Saga Space Architect, Victara Hotel Deville, Hotel Deville, a restaurant, Cam Oz, Camozzi. I don't know what this is right here. I couldn't the writing. I couldn't make that out. Oh, this is the Yacht Club of Monaco. Of course, of course, the Yacht Club of Monaco. Um, and here are their partners. So they probably have those folks come in and teach those robotics camps, probably some sailing classes, uh, putting together a family office. Let me look. Let me see. What does CARE stand for? What is an award-winning CARE? Individual development plan. So you put together a development plan for your child. Parents are part of the team. In the process, parents are part of the team, sharing their vision for the education of their child with specialists. We carefully map and monitor student progress, providing professional advice and support where necessary. Guidance counselors and academic mentors provide regular feedback on the progress while providing students with a ongoing point of contact for questions and support. So K through 12. So let's go to the calculator. If we're saying you average 160 times 5, that's 800,000 for 5 years. If you're going K through 7, we'll do 160 times 7 years. Let's see, K one is it 8? We'll say 7 or 8. If it's 7, 1 million. If it's 8, of course it's going to be over a million. So $1 million education, basically. Let me look here. What happens on weekends? We offer a wide range of fun-packed activities and excursions on the weekends. Programs include popular options such as paintball, sightseeing in Switzerland, or our Husky Dog Sledge experience. On dedicated community weekends, our students come together to collaborate on school-wide projects in areas such as philanthropy and sustainability. In addition, our students can sign up for talent enrichment weekend trips that we offer a few times per year, visiting places like Rome, London, and Paris. Do you have a school uniform? Rosenberg does not have a school uniform, but a dress code. Monday through Friday during breakfast and lunch, as well as during all academic classes, our formal dress code applies. During this time, our boys wear suits, and our girls wear elegant trousers, skirts, and dresses. At all other times during the week, including dinners or weekends, our students wear smart casual, which entails the option to wear sneakers and polo shirts. And they have a YouTube. They have a YouTube page where you can check out the students and see how they're dressed and what they're dressed like. And let me see, do they have any shorts? Yep, they got some shorts they've created. All right. I wanted to bring you that one. I thought you would like that one. Let's keep on in the same lines. You thought this is Dr. Umar school? You didn't think that. All right. A 65-year-old CEO turned at least 88% of his employees into millionaires after selling his company for 70 million. All right. So let's get into the why I brought this up. The Again, being strategic about the companies you decide to go work for. Again, there's typically your smaller companies, 100 people or less, are typically are going to have, especially if we got employee owned stock, ESPP stock. I'm gonna bring that up, and then we'll read this article. All right. Employee stock purchase plan. What is it and how it works? I've spoke on this before. Close, 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 close. Will you close for me today? Yeah, there we go. An employee stock purchase plan is a company run program in which participating employees can purchase company stock directly at a discounted rate. Employees contribute to the plan through payroll deductions, which build up between the offering date and the purchase date. At the purchase date, the company uses the employees' accumulated funds to purchase stock in the company on behalf. Oh, whoa, whoa, let me do this and come back here and do this. Where was that? Purchase stock in the company on behalf of the participating employees. And key takeaways. An ESPP is a program in which employees purchase company stock at discounted price. Employees contribute through payroll deductions. The discount can be as much as 15% in some cases. And income or loss from the sale of your share from from the sale of shares you purchase through ESPP is generally taxed as capital gains or loss. But you can use places like Carta, where they'll work with you to find out which one you should be doing. Should you be buying now or waiting or whatever the case may be. So understanding employee stock purchase plans. When an employee stock purchase plan, employees have the option to buy stock employer at a di- in their employer at a discounted rate. This is offered as a benefit. You usually get the best offer when you are first signing on to the company. So this is one of those things that's negotiable, right? So instead of asking for a sign-on bonus or something like that, you could ask for more stock, right? The goal is that the employees can purchase valuable stock for lower than the market price, allowing them to make a profit. The company growing and becoming more successful then causes the stock to become even more valuable, which then increases the benefit to the employee. And let me do that. With employee stock purchase plans, the discount rate on the company shares depends on the specific plan, but can be as much less as 15%. ESPP ESPPs may have a look back provision allowing the plan to use a historical closing price of the stock. The price may either be the price of the stock offering date or the purchase date. Just like we knew about this we saw this right here too, right? Remember this was a conversation. Now I hope those people got their money. Um right? Remember 76 of Nvidia employees are millionaires. Remember we talked about this if they didn't get their money and get out because Nvidia has dropped. It's not at the 131 it was before now. It is dropped. It's down to like one was it 113, 112? What was it? What did Nvidia trade at yesterday? 113, 113.06 it traded at. It's what it closed at yesterday. Now look at this now. Remember, you've been with the company for 20 years. You've been with the company for 20 years. You could have got out at what 135? You could have got out at 135. Right? 135, that's June. Let me go back. Let's go look. The highest it's been 135. Now we're down to 113 within a year. Right? Yep, it's still falling. I'm holding. I'm holding. But I'm just showing you like if you spent some time at the company and you think and listen, if you bought like Some people in these companies have 30,000, 40,000, $50,000 worth of shares, 60,000, $100,000 worth of shares, depending on if they just spend every time they get paid, they just keep buying shares. They just keep buying shares, right? So now let's go back and do at 135 calculator. It hit a low 106 yesterday. So let's say you got your 135 a share and you got, I don't know, let's go with you purchased over time 120,000 shares, right? 16 million. And that actually happened, right? That actually happened. The guy that retired with his shares, I think he got out at 60 million. I think he got out like at 60 million. Yeah, see, one mid-level employee accrued a fortune of 62 million. When would you get out? Would you get out at 1 million? Would you get out at 2, 3, 4, 5? When would you get out? Employees who joined NVIDIA 5 years ago are now millionaires and coasting into semi-retirement. All they got to do is just stay there at this point till they hit until they get tired. They can get out at 40. They can get out at 45. They can get out at 55, whatever. But say you got hired on at 40. You're 45. You can get out at 55 with your 401k and not have to worry about it, right? Given these figures, it's easy to see why NVIDIA employees who joined the company 5 years ago are likely millionaires. Additionally, many mid-level managers at NVIDIA reportedly make over a million a year, thanks to stock options and the overall appreciation of the company stock. Strategic about the companies that you're gonna go. Nobody really saw NVIDIA was gonna explode like that. Palantir is the next one. Are we looking at Broadcom? Are we looking at AMD? What is going to be the next venture? Who's gonna blow? Right? Who's gonna blow? No one knows, right? Stocks are a gamble, but no one knows. However, you can also look at again how they're investing you. What is Nvidia benefits? Mm, 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 mm. Medical, blah 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 blah. Let me be specific here. All right. So Nvidia says save for the future with their 401k retirement plan. You have pre-tax Roth and after-tax contributions. So you can do after-tax contributions, right? Free money from Nvidia. Okay. They have pre-tax. Do. They got a Roth, but they say after tax. The money you save is deducted after taxes and other deductions are withheld. You can save up to 34,500 in addition to any pre-tax or Roth contributions. In addition, you can draw your after-tax contributions anytime, paying tax only on the investment earnings. Or you can convert your after-tax contributions to Roth savings. So that's in their 401k plan. They also have an in-plan conversion. You can transfer your pre-tax or after-tax savings into Roth savings within the NVIDIA 401k plan. That's a good thing too. I like it. Free money from NVIDIA. If you participate in their 401k plan using pre-tax or Roth contributions, NVIDIA will match your contributions up to this year's limit of 11,500. We'll match dollar for dollar every pay period up to 6,000, and then we'll match 50 cents for each dollar for the next 11,000. And you have investment options. They're doing fidelity, withdrawals, loans, withdrawals, blah blah blah. I like it. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. All right, let's close out. All right, let's go back here. So he's 65. He sold the company for 70 million. He made every one of his people employees. I mean, employees, millionaires. When Jay Chaudhary sold his first company for 7 million, he focused less on his riches, he says, and more on how the deal could turn dozens of his employees into millionaires. He is a billionaire and the founder and the CEO of Zscaler. Again, going back to that networking piece, a cloud cybersecurity firm, vaguely rough 28 billion as of Wednesday. Back in 1998, he was a first time entrepreneur selling a startup he launched with his wife, Security IT, to VeriSign in an all stock deal for a huge windfall. Nearly 2 years after the deal closed, what happened? All right, VeriSign stock price soared. More than 70 of Secure IT's 80 employees, again under that 100, right? On paper were millionaires. People were going crazy in the company because they had never thought of so much money. A lot of them were buying new houses, they were buying new cars. I know a guy, he took 6 months off, rented a mobile home, and went around the country. They could do what they wanted to do. Speaking of, we had we had someone that took off for 4 months, and he went on a world trip around the world for 4 months. He went on a 4 month cruise, and then he came back to work and got rehired. So again, what do you want your life to look like? How do you want to shape it? What do you see for yourself? Like not what somebody else sees, but what do you see for yourself? And sometimes what somebody else may see for your life, you might not have thought about, right? You might not have thought about it. People were going crazy because they had never seen that much money before, blah, blah, blah. Between the time of the acquisition from in February 2000, Veristock uh, increased by more than 2,300%, closing at a high of $253 per share, helped by two stock splits and a temporary bubble in tech stocks. The bubble burst later that year, and VeriSign stock roughly fell 75% off that high point at the end of 2000, sinking to a low of $4 in 2002. Get Go out on a high note, get your money and run. You don't know when that high note is going to end. Get it while you can, and run. I mean, you better be like Shakari Richardson. You better be like FloJo. You better get to the finish line. And be like, yeah, you run on up out of there. Take your wins while you can. Uh, he recalls from Jim Bidzos, VeriSign's then chairman, on what to do with his shares. Sell some of the stock little by little on a regular basis. The strategy helped Chandra reap some benefits of VeriSign's soaring stock before the market cratered. He says secure IT employees who held on to their VeriSign stock were likely rewarded by their patient. It closed at 254 per share as recently as of 2020-21. They probably they didn't make that money back. And currently the price sits at a roughly $175 a share. Yeah, I would have got out. Once I saw it hit that sword, I would have dipped. I would have been like the Cupid shuffle. New Cupid, you about to do down, down, do your dance, down, down, do it. I'm like, I walk into the bank when I say low. They be like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left." They be like, "Man, where'd you get this check from?" I said, "To the right, to the right." I'm dipping, baby. I'm dipping on that. You just got to know when. And you know why people don't know when? Because you got to be like financially secure. Now, here's the thing, you don't have to take it all, but I'm going to take some. I'm I'm running. All right, let's go. Let's see. Let's go with this article. All right. I'm a self made millionaire. 13 steps I took to become rich in my 50s. Right? We have a little older audience here. Well, hold on. We have a mature audience sometimes. A mature audience. Becoming a self made millionaire later in life requires persistence, tenacity, and an ample dose of confidence, but mostly it's about taking the right steps. Right? Let's go. Achieving millionaire status in your 50s is possible with strategic planning, disciplined saving, smart investment, Spindler said. I started clean carpets with a modest investment and a vision for service excellence. Over the years, I focused on delivering quality, building a loyal customer base, and reinvesting profits. Sound like he owns his own business and he's cleaning carpets, right? Yeah, cash out 50%, Tim. Cash out 50%. Put that, you could throw that money into uh part of that money into a guaranteed annuity, go crazy on the other part, but you should, and if I'm dipping and I got about 2 million sitting there, I'm at least take 1 million and go put it somewhere, pay off some stuff. Even I put $800,000 into, I don't know, a high yield savings account or annuity or something like that. I'm gonna do what I need to do. Let the other stay there, and if I work and it dip and it come back or whatever, I'm gonna be mad if it dipped down to $4 from 253. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be miffed, a little miffed, right? Instead of drawing large salaries or spending profits, I reinvested them into the business. This allowed him to expand services, hire skilled employees, and purchase advanced equipment, contributing to increased revenue. Diversified income streams. As his business grew, Miller explored additional revenue streams, such as offering maintenance contracts, selling cleaning products, and providing consultancy services. Diversifying income, and it's still under the same umbrella. He just diversified his income, right? I dedicated time to learning about financial management, investments, and market trends. Stay informed about financial trends and opportunities. Continuously seek knowledge through books, courses, and financial advisors to make informed decisions. He said his knowledge helped him make informed decisions about saving and investing. Looking into the real estate investments, another step Miller involved investing in real estate, as well as purchasing rental properties and providing a steady income. So he just used his money to put into other places. Maximize tax advantage accounts. In my 50s, I focused on maximizing advantage accounts like my 401k and IRA. I made catching up contributions, which is 7,500 this year for those that are turning 50 and older. Contributions on top of priority and contributed to the maximum allowed. He said he took advantage of an employer match offer for those without access to employer plans. Open an IRA and fund it as much as possible, as much as you can. It's only 7,000 right now, and I think you got 8,000 if you could do catch up contributions, or is it 6,000 right now? 7,000 if you could play catch up. Miller agreed to full advantage of retirement accounts and so forth, blah, 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 rebalancing the portfolio. This part right here, consulting a financial advisor. Be careful on this one. Go and look up a certified financial advisor. Go have a consultation with them. See if you like them. See if they like you. See if they even have anything new to offer you. How long have they been in the game? Like you don't want to have $1 million sitting there and that person has never helped maintain or even build $1 million portfolio. That person is 25 years old and they've never seen anything. They's like, just give me a chance. And you were like, not on my money. Not on my money, my guy. All right. So yeah. So just be careful with that one. Develop a clear financial plan. I agree with that. Start know how much money go out every month, how much money come in every month, where you want to be at in your next job. You may get a next job, say you're making 125 right now. You want your next job to you want to be at 150. What are you going to do to make up that gap and so forth, right? Invest in income generating assets. Yes. Dividend paying stocks and bonds, right? Minimize your debt, network with like-minded individuals, maintain a healthy work-life balance. I agree with that. So you say, how do you find a trustworthy fiduciary? All right. So you can go places like here, FINRA. There's also another website, because again, what nobody ever talks about is the taxes. Finding an enrolled agent. That's another thing, right? Finding an enrolled agent. So look here. So verify the status of an enrolled agent. You can email them. There's also a website for this, but you can always go to the IRS as well too. How do I feel about irrevocable trust? What am I using one for? What are you using an irrevocable trust for? What are you putting in that trust? Where's that one at for Fidelity? Irrevocable trust designed to exclude life insurance proceeds from the deceased taxable estate while providing liquidity to the estate and trust and beneficiaries. Charitable trusts allow certain benefits to go to charity and the remainder to go to the beneficiaries. Then there's a charitable remainder trust allows you to receive an income stream for a defined period of time. Let me give you this link here so you all have this. So you know the difference between a generation skipping trust. Maybe you want to skip a generation. Maybe you don't want to leave none to your kids and you want to leave something to your grandkids. A qualified terminal interest property trust, QTIP. A grantor retained annuity trust, right? So here I'll drop this link and you all can go look it up. But also go to Investopedia. Investopedia will have some of that information as well too. I get this to D. You all can do what you will at that point. Here's a question for y'all. What happened to buying the houses as an NFT? Remember that? Y'all remember that? Whatever happened? Now this took place in Florida. I'm just asking questions. You ant dog, you say you be damned if they blow your money. I have a child to play. Well, this is the thing. You're gonna have to set up instructions. You have to set up instructions and within that, right? And you're also gonna have to look at like I mean, like they say, you can rule from the dead. You can rule from the dead, right? Florida has was auctioned off as an NFT, a potential first for both real estate and cryptocurrency. The Gulfport home house sold for $653,000, and the winning bidder now holds the NFT, signing ownership on the chain. So whatever happened to that? This came that came out a while ago. Whatever happened to this? Whatever happened to that? Are people still buying houses on the chain? I haven't heard anything else about it. It's been kind of quiet. All right, let me see what time. How much time I got? What am I? Where am I at on time? The time is not up here, so I don't know how long we've been going for. It says started an hour ago, but I don't know. Are we an hour and 30 minutes? Hour and 50 minutes? Let me see. She D say check the back chat. That's what she said. All right. Okay. Cool. I got a homie that pulled out 50K out of the crypto market this year. That's fine. All right. So it's been riding. Well, let's talk about some stuff. This will be controversial. Let me see. Where is that? Right here. That thunder? All right. The U.S. state sending $20 million to family as no strings attached guaranteed income program grows. I talked about it. I talked about it a little bit this earlier this year and last year about I've reported on it different times, different states talking about this, right? A program giving direct, no strings attached payments to families that are struggling to make ends meet is about to spread to the state of Michigan. Originally launched in Flint, the RX Kids program is now expected to expand to five counties in the eastern Upper Peninsula after approval of the $20 million in state funding. The program gives mothers 1,500 mid-pregnancy for things like food, prenatal care, cribs, and anything else they deem necessary. After the birth of their child, the families receive 500 a month for the first year of their life, amounting to $7,500 in cash payments. According to RX Kids co-director H. Luke Schaefer, a similar initiative previously launched in Michigan brought immense benefits for families, but then child poverty ramped back up after it ended. According to the University of Michigan, 17.6% of the children under age 18 live in households below the federal poverty line. All right, Emika said, what kind of tech specialization would be needed in a call center operation UX space? Is there engineering programming involved in that space? I'm not sure what your question is. What kind of tech specialization would be needed in the call center operation UX space? You mean like UX design, the GUIs, and so forth and so on? I don't think it's. I don't know if it's special engineering, but figuring out how I would first look at what is the issue in the space. Is there a issue with what they're using and how to solve that issue? Let me look. Um, right. So, um, just my immediate look right here. Right. What are some common call center problems? Like, what are we? What issues? technology wise and UX wise would be what one need, like to solve problem solve. That's what I would be looking at. How do you solve complex UX problems, right? Like managing the dollars. Yeah, I would look at what that is. If you're looking at like who has a problem, right? Has somebody identified their problem? Do you work in that space? Do you see things where things can be improved in that space? And that could be as simple as adding a button and or something of that nature. But that's what I would start there. I'm not a UX person, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know. But if I'm trying to get into that space or trying to figure out, I was first trying to figure out what the problem is in the UX space in a call center. Does somebody post these problems somewhere? Who are the players in that space and what problems and challenges do they solve? And then I would probably end up talking to like a UX person as well too, right? I would do a comparison on the top ones to see if they solve a problem. Yep, 7,500 is cool, but they're missing the education on what to do with the money. I don't think they care, Tim. I don't think they even care about that part. All right, let's go. That one I probably wait till Monday to talk about. All right. I was supposed to talk about this last night, but I didn't. So let's talk about it now. Dave Ramsey, tough advice for a woman making 11,500 a month. Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. All right. Personal finance guru Dave Ramsey gave tough advice on the Ramsey show to a woman and her husband living paycheck to paycheck, yet they're making 11,500 a month. Alyssa called in for guidance from the finance expert because she and her husband were worried about their finances. Alyssa tells Dave Ramsey she's remarried and together as a couple they bring in 11,500 a month, yet they're unable to contribute to their retirement, and they have around 3,000 in their savings. I contribute to my retirement every month, right? Let's see. Earning a combined salary of the combined salary puts the couple at an annual salary of 140,000 a year, much higher than the average annual salary in the U.S. For example, U.S. Today reported the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released findings that the average American earned 59,384, even with the amount double. Alyssa and her husbands earn significantly more. So why are they living paycheck to paycheck? And this is what Dave Ramsey wanted to find out. He starts out by finding out how much debt the pair have. Alyssa reveals that combined they have $138,000 in debt. 90,000 of it comes from Alyssa's studies to become a mental health and care therapist. Her husband has a remaining 40,000 from his time at college, even though he did not want to attend college. But that wasn't all. They owed an additional 60,000 on car payments and 240,000 in mortgage still to go. So the total debt is more than 130,000. Uh Co-host George Kimmel, an expert on all things money, questions Alyssa about how quickly they can pay off debt. He asks if they can throw up 5,000 a month at the smallest debt. Alyssa side of hesitance worries Kimmel, and he asks her what is holding her back from zapping away her debt. Alyssa's fear of taking 5,000 per month to pay off debts is motivated by ensuring her daughter has enough because Alyssa is self-employed and her husband works in construction. She reveals she gets worried about catastrophic expenses, but that's not what Ramsey was worried about listening to her talk. He tells her, "You know what I'm worried about. The dishes out some hard truths. You make 130,000 a year and you're freaking broke. That was probably Dave Ramsey. So let me say it right. You make 130,000 a year and you're freaking broke. For God's sakes. That's my Dave Ramsey impression. That's what I'm worried about. Ramsey points out that they're living a lifestyle and they can't afford it. You're living a lifestyle and you can't afford it, and that's what she should be worried about. That's how he talks. You must have a lifestyle that let me say it in my Dave Ramsey voice. You must have a lifestyle that's absolutely asinine. What do you think there, Dave? What do you think there, George? What do you think? Asinine, just purely asinine. What the frick are you doing? What are you and your husband doing? And that's nothing to do with a 9-year-old. Alyssa tells the two finance experts that money she needs for her daughter is just in case an emergency savings fund. But Ramsey didn't buy it and explained, but you're doing nothing about it. You got $3,000. He tells her husband in disbelief that her $3,000 in savings is just a red herring, and you're doing nothing about except creating anxiety. Ramsey tells Alyssa that she and her husband have no idea what they're doing and with their money. Ramsey puts them on a detailed written budget. Ramsey tells her that looking objectively at their finances, he could easily see them being able to put aside $50,000 a year toward debt and should consider selling a car or two. He then dishes out some tough advice. You live like no one else, so that later you can give like no one else. To get out of debt, which he jokes has been so long, it's like their family pet. Ramsey tells her it's going to be uncomfortable. It has to be done, and she could also go earn more money too, right? All right, so that was my Dave Ramsey impression. Sorry if it was loud in your ear, but turn your volume down. Dave Ramsey baby steps. It works for some, and sometimes it don't. It takes more than just the steps. It takes discipline. Um. All right, I'm gonna end it on this one. Hold on, let me go to it, and then we'll end it on this one. All right, let's go. A California millennial shares how he made nearly $200,000 secretly working multiple jobs. He said he only worked 20 hours a week. The California millennial said made nearly 200,000 secretly working two full-time remote jobs and doing some freelance work on the side. The worker in this story is not pictured. A millennial in California made nearly 200,000 last year, secretly working two full-time remote jobs. His overemployment let his wife to work part-time and gave him the confidence to start a business. He said having a kid provided him additional motivation to reach the financial freedom. In 2021, and this is, let me see when this was released. Is this released this year? In 2021, Patrick found himself with a lot of time on his hands. His task for remote account manager role didn't require a full 8-hour day workday. He told Business Insider via email. Outside work, the pandemic related restrictions limited how much he could do. He had an idea. He looked for extra work to boost his income and professional services. This idea changed his life. Patrick, who's 34 and based in California, made nearly 200,000 last year, secretly remoting two full-time remote jobs and doing additional freelance work on the side. The extra earnings boosted his 2023 earnings by roughly 70%. The extra income has allowed Patrick to pay off debts, make home improvements, invest in rental properties, and boost his savings. And what's more, he said he only worked 20 hours on average across both full-time jobs. It's also provided him and his wife two big gifts. For his wife, it made it possible for her to trade her full time job for a part time one, which has given her more time to raise their child. For Patrick, it's helping him reach a financial freedom that he said only comes with being his own boss and having stable income. Overemployment has helped me learn the skills and gain confidence to start my own business. Patrick among the overemployed Americans who have secretly worked multiple remote roles to boost their income and job security. A business insider has interviewed over 2 dozen of these job jugglers. These people have made much as a million annually across their jobs and use their extra income to pay off student debt, save for retirement, and afford expensive vacations and weight loss drugs. While some companies may be okay with their employees taking on extra work, doing so without approval could have consequences. Additionally, competition for remote jobs, return to office mandate, and burnout have led to some jobs. And we see that. We see people are like, oh, you can do hybrid work. Patrick, and even hybrid work, you can still get away with juggling two jobs. Patrick shared how his overemployment journey led him to start a business and whether his plans are backing up. Now I don't know what business he started. See, he dipped his toe in overemployment in 2021, and he provides growth marketing services. In addition to his primary full-time job, he became comfortable with juggling two freelance clients in addition to his main role. In 2022, he started his second full-time role remote job while retaining three freelance clients. He said his two full-time employers were not aware of his extra work commitments. In the middle of last year, Patrick quit his second remote job, which required roughly 15 hours of work each week on average, because his wife was pregnant and he needed additional support. In addition to remaining full-time job, Patrick said he currently has 7 freelance clients, which require about 80 hours of work a month on average. He said his freelance work has turned into a full-fledged business. He established an LLC in December. Patrick credits his experience juggling multiple jobs and freelance gigs to help him realize he was capable of managing the business and so forth. Right? And this is another one. Millennial making 350,000 a year through overemployment says he only worked 50 hours a week. Right. Again, I'm not encouraging you to work to do overemployment, but I'm saying it's possible. And I'm also saying that if you're gonna do it, you need to have a plan before you do it. Have a plan before you do it. And when I say have a plan, um literally write down what your financial goal is going to be, right? You say, hey, I want to work these two jobs for 2 years. At the end of these 2 years, X, Y, and Z debt should be paid off, and I should have this much money saved. And you could do that, but you would have to come up with a budget. You got to be strategic. You can't say, oh, I splurge a little bit, just a little bit, and then I won't do it no more. It's a slippery slope. Take it from the player. Take it from a player from the Himalayas. All right. It's a slippery slope. Before the billions was going on, 10A was going on for Rita. Valdez Brown was going on. Thank y'all for joining today. We appreciate y'all sticking around. I think I reached my 2 hour mark. I don't know. I don't see the time. Uh, but D, you let me know how much time. Am I 2 hours yet? Oh, D said ain't 2 hours yet. Uh-oh. But we still can go early. All right. I'll catch y'all on. Oh, I got 10 more minutes, but that's fine. I'll catch y'all on the next one, which will be on Monday, which will be How We Linux. Be ready for that show, because that show got fire. I've already prepped for it. I already know what I'm doing with it. The show gonna be fire. All right. I'll catch y'all on Monday.